Okay, now we're going to move on. Now that we've got the energy going and the blood is pumping, we're going to move on to something, I'm quite excited about. I'm excited about most things. How membership schemes can drive engagement. I must be honest, I'm a member of a couple of attractions. I pay my yearly subs. I've done my calculations and thought, well, if I go 3 times, I've paid it off. It's very cool to be a part of it. I don't necessarily understand the back end of it, so this is going to be really, really interesting. To give us a little bit of insight, James Beardsworth-Shaw from, I think it's the National Gallery in London, which is, I don't know if you've ever been there before. I think, no, I've never been. But it's obviously a world-renowned place. Great, sorry, I'm going lost for words here. Great gallery. And I think a lot has been done there because membership is quite important over in the UK. If you follow the rest of the guys over there, they put a lot of effort into their memberships. So, James, over to you. We're looking forward to it.
Hello everyone, my name is James Beardsworth-Shaw and I'm the Head of Commercial Services at the National Gallery in London, where I'm responsible for several commercial aspects of gallery activity. And it's a real pleasure to be asked to contribute to this year's AAVEA conference and specifically to speak about membership, which is an area of my work that I am particularly passionate about. I'm a huge advocate for designing and delivering excellent customer experiences and developed a great deal of experience over the past 15 years working on membership schemes at some of the world's most popular cultural attractions. So membership schemes for me offer people convenience at the end of the day. There are transactional benefits, and in the case of non-for-profit or charitable organisations such as the National Gallery, they offer a mechanism for people to support something that they believe in. And members will fall somewhere on the altruistic spectrum. So those initially motivated by transactional value can become more altruistic through strategic engagement. But on the flip side, those originally driven by philanthropic motivations can quickly start to question the value of their membership if you do not engage them in relevant and meaningful ways. So the National Gallery's membership scheme is about 6 years old. So relatively speaking, it's still actually in its infancy. I've worked on schemes at places like the Victoria and Albert Museum and at Tate, and their schemes are well established and been running for over 50 years. At the Gallery, we currently have approximately 25,000 active membership households who contribute £2 million in subscription revenue alone. From its launch in 2014 and 15, the proposition has predominantly been based around access to exhibitions held at the Gallery in Trafalgar Square. And for anyone that's not familiar, Trafalgar Square is right in the centre of London. And the picture on the left here shows the Gallery with the portico at the front with the steps up. Now, over the past few years, the benefits of membership have developed to extend across a range of other on-site and digital experiences to really ensure that members get the best the Gallery has to offer. And in the past 15 months particularly, we've seen a dramatic pivot to digital programming as a response to the COVID pandemic. Now, understanding the motivations and behaviour of your audience will help you understand and predict common customer actions. For us, this showed us that the most common action of a general visitor to our gallery or exhibition customer was to become a member, or indeed to buy tickets to our exhibitions, not jump straight to becoming a patron or a major donor. So although membership is not the highest value method of supporting the gallery financially compared with our higher level donor and patron giving schemes, it offers an accessible route to market for harnessing revenue, for growing loyalty, and for building ongoing engagement with high volumes of highly engaged people. So this poster on the right here is a great example of how we've engaged potential new members by delivering a message that is relevant to the majority visitor. Now, high numbers of members paying an annual subscription fee can be a financial lifeline to organisations and venues of all types and sizes, regardless of whether you're a charity or not. The golden rule from my experience is that engagement always leads to revenue. Now, healthy recruitment of new members and retention of existing members are the most important key performance indicators that I use and will be relevant for almost any scheme. And the performance of these metrics is so often linked to great engagement. It starts with basic theory of supply and demand, okay? So what are the tangible assets that you can build benefits around to make an enticing and engaging product proposition? If people don't want what you're offering, then they're unlikely to engage in the first place. So I'm going to focus today on 3 areas of strategic engagement. Number 1 is ensuring you have a strong proposition. Then I'll get you thinking about how to deliver your product well. And then we'll take a look at some relevant and timely communications to members. So engaging new members, the key here is about having a strong customer proposition that delivers benefits for them and to you. A well-devised scheme will strike a balance between the benefits to the member and to any direct or indirect benefits to the organisation. Now, I can't stress enough the importance of doing the analysis when describing price points and keeping track of profitability as you see engagement grow. A scheme delivering too much transactional value could lose you revenue, but you'll struggle to recruit and retain members if the value proposition is eroded. Now, at the National Gallery, this involves ensuring the price of membership is always in line with the price of exhibition tickets, as this is where the primary transactional benefit lies. We give people free entry to exhibitions if they become a member. Now, our members also enjoy convenience, the convenience of being able to visit each exhibition multiple times and with priority access into the building. They get exclusive access to our experts and special content. They also receive 10% discount across our shops, restaurants, cafes, and sometimes we reward our members for their loyalty with additional discounts and offers. Now, by supporting the gallery's mission, members are supporting free art for everyone. So not only can art benefit their own well-being and provide emotional fulfillment, but they're also helping others too. And there are many opportunities for our members to enhance their knowledge and understanding of art through their subscription benefits. For us, this represents an enticing and competitive package, but I'd recommend that you list out your benefits or potential benefits and compare those with your peers, and then get to understand and learn from your data of how your members are using those benefits and ask them what benefits they might like to see. But what's also important here are the benefits to the gallery, and these are multiple. So our members are essentially prepaid visitors and therefore an effective and efficient source of revenue for us. They tend to be highly engaged and therefore they visit often, interacting with our wider digital and learning offer as well. Members are our most frequent customers who like to shop in our shops and online, and they eat and drink in our catering venues. So on top of their subscription income of £2 million that I mentioned earlier, there's levels of secondary spend across our learning, in our shops and our catering is over £1 million each year. And members are amongst our biggest advocates. They act as brand ambassadors by introducing the gallery to their own networks and will regularly provide additional charitable donations in support of specific causes. So, for example, a couple of years ago, our gallery was trying to purchase a painting for the collection, and our members from one email supported with £30,000 in additional donations. And they provide us with a rich source of behavioural and transactional data from which we use to help make important decisions about the services that we offer. So delivering your product is where many organisations can fail to engage members to the fullest. So it's important to ensure that all touchpoints are optimised to deliver the best possible member experience, and don't stop trying to improve and optimise these points. So we at the gallery have invested some time and resource in ensuring that our marketing collateral, tone of voice and stationery are all engaging and on brand. On the previous slide, you saw an image of our current membership card with the slogan, "Before modern art, there was art." And here you can see our envelopes carry an image from inside the gallery looking out at Nelson's Column, carrying the words "Waiting for you" in Trafalgar Square. The poster on the right here is from last year's Christmas gift campaign, And that played on the dual benefits of the individual and the organisation. And each of these lines evoke an emotional connection, either to art history, to our loved ones, or to the gallery's home in the heart of London. Now consider the needs of the people who will be using the product. You are designing and placing them at the centre of the design process. So we use UX principles and best practices to identify customer personas and map their journeys, whether that be across our website or a physical journey through our building. And in my position at the gallery, I rely on countless people across multiple teams and third parties to deliver great engagement and service to our members. It's no good ensuring your team are delivering great engagement if your stakeholders are not. So from front of house staff to exhibition and wayfinding designers, marketeers and content producers, everyone at the National Gallery plays an important part in the overall member experience and of your organisation. Remember, members won't see individual teams or in fact individuals, they will only see your organisation. And turn your customer care team into product experts. That's what we've tried to do. And these colleagues are at the heart of your operation. And if you galvanise them, they can go above and beyond your members' expectations. For example, our team regularly offer personal recommendations of videos or artworks for our members to view online anytime they contact us about a query or anything. Be sure to monitor and regularly report on how your digital and on-site channels are performing. For example, how is your website performing for members who are trying to book or trying to join even, or perhaps they're trying to renew their memberships? Or how successful are your on-site sales team each day, each week, each month? Or how effective are your renewal letters and emails that you're sending out? You can get as granular as you have the capacity to do so, but trust that by optimizing these channels, you are improving the experience for your members every step of the way. And regularly monitor satisfaction. Members will provide honest feedback about their experiences, providing valuable insights as to what their pain points are. And once you know what these are, you can fix them. And I personally have learnt the hard way several times, and it can be seemingly trivial points that can make a huge difference to a member's experience. Things such as members not being able to get access to free use to a cloakroom, or if the shop decides to hold a 10% sale without ensuring that your members get an additional 10%, can really undermine the hard work that you've done. Now, engaging members throughout the year with relevant and timely communications really is a well-oiled machine keeping the lights on in a good scheme. It's particularly at the National Gallery, that's how we roll. And we predominantly use email as it is cheaper. It's instant and links your members straight to any call to action. But in some instances, we do still send out direct mail letters where appropriate, and also in order to test the performance against email. Now, personalize everything. No one wants to feel like a number. People are also very busy, so take every opportunity to communicate the benefits clearly and often on your website, on the back of letters, and even in your emails. Automate where possible to save you time and resource. We have recently implemented an automated welcome campaign for new members. One email within an hour of joining, and the follow-up is 2 days later. So each introduce different aspects of their new membership they've just started, but each have a distinct aim of getting them to engage, whether that's by booking a visit or making a purchase in the online shop or simply watching a video. The quicker you can activate a member, the more likely they are to go on to be highly engaged members. And build out your lifecycle communications. This includes a targeted welcome reminder, updates, regular renewal communications, and all must be timely, personal, and authentic. And don't forget to shout about new product releases. Your members really are not sat refreshing your website. So the example you see here is of an email sent to all members to announce the release of a brand new member-exclusive on-demand video service. And it certainly wasn't the only email we sent in isolation about this. We shouted about this in a part of a campaign, and anyone who hadn't opened the initial email, we sent follow-ups to really boost that engagement with this new service. And ask your members what kind of content they're interested in and learn from past performance. So, for example, we've been able to learn over time from the performance of emails and content within those emails that from experience, our members currently engage the most with pieces from our expert staff, from curators and from conservators, and far less with content that's related to outreach initiatives or children's activity. Now, service emails are a fantastic way to build out automated comms based on member behaviour. And a great example I can give is that we send tailored pre- and post-visit emails to our members when they book a ticket to either an event or an exhibition. And they provide not only an opportunity to start a conversation with someone ahead of their visit or their interaction, but it allows us to manage their expectation of what their experience and their visit is going to be like, and provides opportunities for additional learning, as well as for us to upsell products through marketing. And I'm a huge advocate of working with your press and communications teams to really ensure that news announcements are sent to members on the same day as your press releases go out into the wider world. I really don't want my members reading about exciting news about our organisation in the paper or online without hearing it from us first, because this really shows that we care about what they think. Now, activating dormant members can sometimes feel like a low priority, but they're really your biggest risk. Members who aren't booking tickets, making purchases, or clicking through on your emails. Test targeted email campaigns or direct mailings and re-engage these at-risk members. Now, you are going to lose members. It is the reality. Not everyone is going to renew. And at the gallery, we operate with a target of retaining 80% of our members overall. We have different payment methods that are relevant to our market. So we have an automatically renewing payment method in direct debits, where we see a much higher retention rate of 95+%. But with the cash payments, where members have to actively renew themselves each year, we see a much lower percentage. But we run regular campaigns to win some lapsed members back. And the example shown here is an email sent to lapsed members, which is not only relevant and personalised as it is tailored to them, it reiterates the benefits. And there's a time-based element here, which is based around a product release, which in this case is the release of exhibition tickets before they go on general sale. Now, after I've been through these methods of increasing engagement, it's important to note that using data will help you achieve high levels of engagement. And at the gallery, we use multiple data sources, which I've listed here, but in all honesty is probably an entirely different session where I could speak for much longer purely on the data side of things. But we use Google Analytics really to help us track the performance and conversion of users across each digital journey, right down to single page and features within a website. We also look for marketing attribution so that we can assess the cost of acquiring new web visitors and customers who transact. And that really helps us validate our budgets when we're looking at how much money to spend on marketing campaigns. And transactional data provides key behavioural and sales insights across a range of products. And at the gallery, we use a system called Tessitura. This is a fully integrated membership and ticketing CRM system, which acts as our customer database. And I can't stress enough the importance of having a robust platform in place that really sets the foundations for the work that you will do with your members. And our email performance across open and click rates really help us evaluate each communication from a commercial point of view, but also provides data on our users. And audience data from post-visit surveys and also targeted surveys that we send directly to our members give valuable qualitative data and insight on who our audiences are, but also on what they think. And we carry out user testing when appropriate. And the most recent example I can think of here is when we were redesigning our email templates and layouts. We practiced these on members and on other email subscribers to gain their input into our design process. And also, lastly, external sources of data are really invaluable for understanding wider market trends and consumer behavior. So my 5 takeaways for engaging members with your product really are: 1, design your product with your customer in mind to ensure that your proposition is enticing and offers value. 2nd, optimize your members' experience at every single touch point. 3rdly, targeted marketing campaigns and relevant and timely communications will maximize your sales and make members feel considered. 4thly, data will help you make good decisions about engagement, so use it wherever you can. And then finally, to get the first 4 points right, the money should look after itself. Thank you, and I'm now able to take any questions and discuss that with you. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. James, thank you so much. That was really, really insightful. I do have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. Firstly, it's actually one I want to ask you. Sure. In your membership structure, do you offer any discounts to your members? So once they're on the property, they go to the gift shop, or they, I don't know, maybe go to the restaurant. Do they get any further discounts?
Past the discounts that we offer in the shop, or the catering discounts.
Okay.
So it's 10% off in our shop and in our online shop, and 10% off in our cafe and restaurants. But we don't offer our members discounts on other products.
Anything else? Okay.
For exhibition tickets, they already get the free ticket. We used to offer our members, well, when I joined the gallery, the scheme had been going for a number of years already, and members used to get quite a big discount on our learning courses. Mm-hmm. But actually, we stopped that because they were our members. I mean, it stands to reason our members were booking a large proportion of those courses because they're very highly engaged. And we took the call to remove that discount, and we didn't actually see any lesser bookings from members. They were doing it because they wanted to do the course, not because they were getting the discount.
Ah, okay. Very interesting. Thanks. From your side, any questions?
Yeah, I was interested to know how you leverage members in your base to become like ambassadors or fans, and really drive like awareness of the membership and your museum or your gallery.
Sure. Yeah. Great question. So I mean, we do it in a number of ways. I'd say the first thing is that actually, advocacy isn't necessarily always something that you can, it can't often be forced. So actually, just naturally, by engaging our members and ensuring that they have the best experience of being a member at the gallery as possible, they are automatically going to share that with word of mouth with their friends and their family. So that happens relatively organically.
Right.
But also there are products that we offer whereby, for example, you can buy someone else the gift of membership. Mm-hmm. And actually we see the majority of our sales from those gifts come from existing members. So, and it stands to reason, they've had a really good experience of being a member themselves. So then they're happy to buy it for someone else to introduce them to it, and then for them to continue it themselves afterwards when they've had a really good time as well. So I think that's probably the main reason.
I mean, that logically,
the main way, sorry.
Absolutely. I mean, that logically makes sense. I think with loyalty, you need to almost allow it to grow over time, and you stay the course in terms of delivering a really wonderful experience that almost like incentivizes them to want to recommend you. So I totally get that. Yeah,
absolutely. One of our membership levels allows you to bring a friend with you.
Okay.
So there's that side of things as well. Often we find that people who joined a membership is because they came with their friend who is a member, and that introduced them to it. And And, sometimes maybe the member doesn't always want to bring that friend. So that friend has to join themselves.
James, it seems like an obvious question. Please excuse me, but I think it's a really good one. How do you know what's too much communication? You obviously want them, as you said, you want them to hear about any sort of new, anything new going on at the gallery from you rather than in the papers, but you don't want to send them an email and an SMS every day. How do we find that balance?
Sure. I mean, I think with the news piece, you've got to make a judgment on what's newsworthy, right? What's the big news, and actually what are people just going to not care that much about? So I think when I was thinking about that and including that in the talk, I was mainly thinking about, there have been times at the National Gallery and other places that I've worked in my career where I found out about things about my organization when I was on the train home reading the newspaper, and it really annoyed me. And that's about bad internal communications right within your organization. But then it made me think, well, if I think that, the person next to me could be a member and they've paid to be a member, and they're finding out about it on the train. So, things like a brand new exhibition that the gallery is going to be having in 2 years' time that is leaked to the press, or a new building, a new wing is going to be built, or a gallery is going to be renovated or something like that. Those big things, make sure you're telling members about it first. But to your original point about, how much is too much in terms of communications, I think it's going to be different for everyone. And even within your membership base, you're going to have people who prefer different levels of communication. So I've seen it. We don't do it ourselves, but I have seen that other brands, not just membership schemes, but brands as non-art sector brands, in managing your email preferences, you can actually set your preference to like once a day, once a week, once a month, once a quarter. So that could be an option for people. But I would always just say, watch your results. If people start to open your emails less, then that could be a suggestion that you're sending them too many. But it could also be just the content of what you're sending. So it's definitely worth doing some testing. And if you're really unsure, then ask your members. Include it in a survey. We send an annual survey to our members, and we always ask them whether they think that we're contacting them too much, just right, or not enough. And 9 times out of 10, we're told that it's just about right.
Okay. That's pretty good. You're obviously getting it right.
A follow-up question to that, James, is email your primary platform of communication, or do you approach it from an omni-channel perspective?
I think, we are multi-channel, but we're definitely predominantly email. I think because the scheme, as I said, is relatively young, it's only 6 years old, it was set up with a kind of digital first mind frame. And that really was to try and save costs in the early days. And actually, you have to have an email address to be able to sign up for a member at the National Gallery, which can be quite unusual for some schemes, particularly when as the kind of stereotypical member, particularly in the UK, of an arts institution, tends to be older. But I think, those stereotypes aren't necessarily true anymore. And particularly the last 15 months, there's been such a huge pivot to digital that even the older generations have kind of moved towards technology more and more. And it almost feels outdated even talking about emails as technology, right? So I think, to answer your question, we're definitely email first.
Okay.
But there are some direct mails that we send letters to certain audiences.
Great.
James, I'm sorry, we do have lots of questions. So I think we've got space for 1 or 2 more, but you've certainly hit a nerve here. People want to know more. Kelly's asking, is it best to display videos embedded in a newsletter rather than a written newsletter? Sort of video versus written. What's your feeling?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question, but I think if Kelly's asking, is it better to send an email with a video in it or a link to a web page where the video is, we always link through to it. because our objective there is to get them to our website. The email is just the kind of the vehicle to that. So we don't really want them sat on the email. We want to get them through to the website as quickly as possible. And if maybe she's asking whether you would send out a letter with a link typed out to someone, I think that if you're sending someone a letter, then odds on their preferred method of consuming information is not online. So it's maybe a futile thing to try and get them to then be going online to view a video. I think you would be potentially sending them written content instead of a video. So I hope that answers that question.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
Any more questions from your side, Tanika?
There's tons more questions. So let's try squeeze one more in.
Let's do one more.
Let's do one more. So the question is from Michelle, and she asks, if one's resources are limited, what would you suggest are the best metrics to measure? So I'm assuming this is budget resources.
Sure, and maybe staff as well.
True.
And I think it's a very common thing. Particularly in museums and heritage sites, right? I think for me, the two main metrics really are, how is your acquisition performing? And depending on your venue, for me, that means on-site and online. I think your online is essentially free. It's going to be a lot cheaper than your on-site. And then your renewals as well. Can you switch your renewals to email instead of letters because it's more instant and it's cheaper? But how are they performing? Because if you're recruiting new and you're retaining your existing, then your scheme's going to grow, and then you'll be able to grow your income and then make a case for reinvesting some of that resource.
Great. God, your timing is amazing.
Your timing is amazing. The clock's just run out, James. Thank you so much for all your insight, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, James. And James,
that's a pleasure.
Before we let you go, how can we reach out to you offline?
Sure.
What's the best way of communicating with you?
Sure. I mean, if any of the organizers of the conference, get people reaching out to them, then I'm happy for you to forward any questions on to me.
Yep.
But the best way is on my LinkedIn. So if people have access to LinkedIn, please just look me up, James Beardsworth-Shaw at the National Gallery. And I'd be more than happy to hear from people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, James. And thank you for all the
No
questions,
worries.
everybody.
Yeah,
Take care.
thanks, James. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.